That's what we're going to watch for. How well will Lorenzo serve? Serve is not always amazing. Sometimes it's quite good. Sometimes he has to make up for not making enough first serves.
Oh, good evening, gentlemen. And I can tell you there was some serious pop on that one out wide at 121. And Jannik, just getting back to you, you only got broken once last week en route to winning that title in Winston-Salem. It's amazing how often that's the foundation of a player's game, isn't it? You serve well, you play well.
Exactly, and I think it lends him to even hitting his forehand better, giving him more opportunities to truly dictate with that major weapon that he possesses on the forehand. Very intense player. It's a lot of fun to watch. So far, so good here.
And Ted, it wasn't just, you know, winning points behind the first serve. It was that first serve percentage. How's this for a first serve percentage? 75, 62, 77%, and 61. Incredible numbers.
Yeah. Very good. I think above 60% for this match is what he needs. He's probably shooting for 65. That's what I would hope to have against Tommy Paul.
Paul charged in behind, and Sonego got him. We just saw it in the previous match. Andreescu had a pretty good first serve percentage, but she didn't win enough of the points.
Right. Well, looking up against Paolini, who returns so well and is back a little bit further. Look at Lorenzo here, pretty close to the baseline. I like this.
You like it?
I like it. That's where I would have returned closer than that, but I didn't know how to return further back. But I like the idea of him showing some different looks. We might see him back up a little bit. Oof. That one whizzed right by you, Robbie.
I would have pocketed that if that had come a little closer to me. Us cricketing guys, we don't need a glove.
Lorenzo came to play.
Yeah.
Those are some big returns.
And Jannik, just to your point, I love the energy that Lorenzo brings. Even if he's playing badly, he's strutting around the court. He's always got great body language, good energy.
I agree with that. Oh. Clobbered those two returns, missed him, shrugs it off. He's backed up a little bit, so maybe not quite that far. What's it feel like down there, Robbie? A little heavy on the court? Does it feel chilly?
No, it is. I mean, you couldn't customize it to be a better temperature, Jannik. There's a minimal amount of humidity in the air. So it doesn't feel like you're going to get cold. No wind to speak of. It feels like we're playing indoors here. Of course, the roof is open.
Maybe the only advantage to playing this late at night.
Yeah. It's really nice. Pretty much whatever seat you have. Especially that lower bowl. It's just excellent viewing of these matches. One of my favorite plays, if you have a good backhand like that, tag it right up the middle or take it into the backhand of your opponent. Get to the net, especially if you have the volleys, the caliber that Paul possesses.
Has that been the biggest improvement in his game over the last couple of seasons, Jannik?
I do think the serve also, with that, I think the serve has become a more major weapon. He doesn't kick it all the time like he used to. Now he goes big on it. But both those things, absolutely.
Okay. Clean again.
It's so nice to see a player using their movement in such an offensive manner. It's one of the biggest regrets I have for Guillermo Monfils, who he always used his amazing athleticism mostly to defend, but these days the likes of Tommy Paul or Carlos Alcaraz using it to be so offensively minded, just love it.
Sonego comes back with his offense, and Paul beats it.
You just knew that volley did not have enough on it, not enough underspin either. It just sat right up into that backhand. Well, that backhand's been good forever, since Tommy Paul won this tournament as a junior. Great in the challenger level.
That. Tommy Paul breaks it love to get the first edge in the match.
Well, back in Kona, where I live, pretty much everybody's asleep at this hour. But here, watching some great tennis.
What a difference we can make. Sonego had to play the qualies in Cincinnati. Strength of that field, of course, everybody back from the Olympics. Then he goes to Winston-Salem, which also was a little bit of a lighter field, but he blows through it, wins it easily.
It's amazing that the year that Sonego's had, that he comes out here and off the back of a win in Winston-Salem when he struggled to win back-to-back matches the whole year. He was only able to do it once this season at tour level, win back-to-back matches, and then boom, comes out, wins Winston-Salem. And of course, gents, that completed the set for him as far as winning on a hard court, indoors and outdoors. He's done that now. Won in Metz as well. He's won on clay and grass, so it speaks to his versatility, gentlemen. He's no one-trick pony, is this Italian.
Yeah, I think he moves well on all surfaces, and the way that he hits the ball is, it's not an overly exaggerated amount of topspin on the forehand. Pretty flat, actually, at times. So that works pretty much on all the surfaces if you find the rhythm. And again, the serve percentage when it's working, as you mentioned, it worked great last week for him. Tommy down love 30 twice. Here he is back at 30 all.
Paul puts himself in a little danger here with his first double.
Well done there from Tommy, getting ahead and staying ahead in that rally. Look at the extra footwork on that overhead. Can be tricky there. You're a little tight. Break point. Good position to put that away.
We see Lorenzo go to the slice there, and it's actually a shot that he uses quite frequently on the backhand. We often think of Tommy Paul as a guy who has nice variety using that backhand chip, but actually over the course of this year, for example, Sonego's used his backhand slice a little bit more than Tommy has. So again, testimony to his versatility.
So Paul saves it. I'd be interested, both of you tell me, so Tommy Paul, you were talking about his serve better. Let's look at where he ranks this year, which is the ultimate stat. How many times you hold? 30th.
Ability to hit big serves. I think that can continue to improve and get better. So, yeah, that can be a stat that can improve.
So, by the way, you can stay connected to the Open on all the social platforms and WhatsApp. Join the conversation with hashtag US Open.
I'm actually a little surprised he's 30th. I thought he'd be higher than that.
So did I.
Yeah.
Especially with the two of you talking about the serve being that improved. That's why. And it's interesting because Sonego, you wouldn't think it. Sonego's 18th in service games won.
He hasn't had the year that Tommy's had.
I know.
Exactly. That's
Yeah.
a good point.
How about that? Run you right into the polo bench. I don't care how fast you are. Try to get that one. To your point, Robbie, I think that Lorenzo sometimes uses the slice too much. I don't think his slice is especially effective.
Yeah.
I think he gets caught on it and then is too defensive, which he's a pretty fast guy, but when he gets on defense, then he's kind of in trouble.
Ted, that's an interesting point you make when you're having a look at the serve in isolation, but just shows the importance of the sum of the parts, right? That, you know, you might not be the best server, but your ability to convert on break points, for example, or play the pressure points well, that's an important stat too. That can contribute to making your ranking significantly better.
All right, Sonego with a hold and love, so Tommy Paul with the break right now. Gives him the 3-2 lead in the first. Lit.
That's the view that keeps changing. Every time I come back, there's a different building. Just marvels of human ingenuity. I see Lorenzo really still going so offensive on these returns, and it's been effective. He's achieved love 30 twice now on the Paul serve. Hasn't made a breakthrough. He's putting some pressure on. If he keeps those balls in the court, could be effective.
All of this, it's amazing. 2 nights here, I'm just astounded. Ball smashes that away, but I'm astounded at how players are playing through all of the movement.
Yeah, you know, I don't think it's an issue. I think once players know about it, players know about it, people are going to be moving around a little bit more. They're moving around between games now, not just on changeovers in the lower bowls of these stadiums and in the upper, on a whim. I think in an atmosphere of the U.S. Open, especially these stadiums where you get a little bit rowdy, it's a fine. Plus, Tommy's just cranking on those backhands. Those are good balls, flat as could be, deep in the court. Lorenzo doing a good job staying in that rally.
It's such a simple swing, isn't it? Just straight back and straight forward. There's not a whole lot can go wrong with it.
Exactly. I thought exactly. And that right there is the mismatch in this match up. The backhand of Sonego just isn't anywhere near to the likes of Tommy Paul. He makes up for good speed in the big forehand. I don't think he wants to get in those backhand exchanges too often.
He's done a pretty good job of mastering, hasn't he? I mean,
you know, it's not like it's he's a fantastic player. I'm just saying, when you're up against a truly world-class backhand that Paul possesses, it starts to show its weaknesses a little. He'll still hit some good ones, for sure. Probably plenty to make me look silly, but
made sure he's hitting the forehand.
Such a good shot.
So we all now have data to kind of support or make us look at things a little differently. And we were talking about service games won, now return games won. Sonego's 47th on the tour. Tommy Paul, to your point, 6th.
That makes sense. And that shows that if you can return well, you're going to win a lot of matches. And we've seen it today already with Lorenzo out there. He's hit some just nuclear returns, and there's another one, but that one a bit of a scud. It just didn't find its mark. He's hit a few that are well along the baseline, just past where Robbie's sitting out there. Sometimes when I'm watching Tommy Paul with that gigantic windup, it's confusing to me how he even get the racket through on some of those balls. Just mistimed that one a little.
Such good shot selection. And I think that Tommy hits that approach shot as well as he does, because he's not trying to hit a winner there, Jan Mike. It's all about placement, because he's prepared for a 2 or 3 shot combination. There's no panic there if the ball is going to come back, so he doesn't overplay.
All that work on the volleys.
Exactly. One feeds into the other.
Well, Tommy Paul gets the hold had to work a little bit for that one. Robbie, you could double up. You could coach right now.
You're right there.
Lovely article that I read from Jeff Sackman. He does tennis abstract. Some of his stuff is absolutely brilliant, Ted. And one of it was highlighting the serve of how good Shelton's serve is, but one of the big hurdles for Shelton will be to improve the return point 1 percentage. And they very much go hand in hand. And in 33 years of top 10 finishing players, that's 330 players, only one player has reached the top 10 with a return points 1 percentage lower than Shelton last year. And of course, it's the ultimate outlier in John Isner. And Shelton's number was 32.6%. And that was way below the average. So you have a look at some of the guys who have been top 10ers with not great returns, like Milos Raonic. Even when he finished top 10, he was winning almost 34% of return points. So you've got to be at the very minimum close to the mid 30% on your return point 1 percentage. That's to be a top 10er, guys. If you want to win a major, well, you have to be in Pete Sampras category.
And where's that?
And not only do you have to have perhaps one of the greatest serves of all time, but when Pete got to number 1 in 96, he was at 35.3, Jan Michael, and that's the lowest ever for a world number 1 in a season. So you still got to return well. That's my point. So the serve alone doesn't do it.
All right, Sonego with a hold of gloves. So
New tennis balls could change up the rhythm a little bit.
we're in the middle of night 2 here, now we're late in night 2. Anybody heard anything? Anybody voicing opinion about the ball being used?
Not so far.
Yeah, I haven't either.
This is one of the better tennis balls I think they use all year. I noticed in some on the practice courts a little bit, they're getting roughed up, but they do hold together all right. Seems that Tommy's liking the new ones just fine.
Yeah,
Here's
exactly.
40 love, the easiest game so far in the match for Paul.
First ace, good spot. There's the Tommy Paul movement for the hold and love to 5-3.
He's just so light on his feet.
Yeah.
And then you couple that with great anticipation, and that makes for a heady cocktail. Shrinks the...
Frozen.
Oh, a nice second night. You can see from above, the skies have been clear all night, so the roof has stayed open.
Yeah. Love it. It's an outdoor tournament after all. Ooh, this time he's going to go for the bunt and barge there. I think that was the plan. Fizzled on the net. You got a good view of that big forehand there, Robbie, huh?
I mean, the execution is obviously spectacular, but it's the movement to get there initially, to be able to hit that shot.
As soon as he started moving to his right, I knew something big was coming. Maybe Tommy could get there and cover it, but that was too much. Okay, well, that's a good example of a good slice. That's some nice variety, and he had good depth on it and got right back to driving through the next one. Nice play.
All right, Sonego, second ace. That was his best shot so far, 126. Speed. That will have a little sit down here, and then Tommy Paul will try to close out the first set. He's tomorrow, the warmest day. Francis Tiafoe's playing in the daytime. Over under on shirts. I've got 30.
30.
He brought 20 out last night.
Oh, wow.
He had 20 shirts with him last night.
I'm way off.
It's good intel.
I didn't know that intel.
Nick Monroe delivered that for us.
Okay. I just saw a little bit of that match. It was quite a match.
Because that first point when you're trying to hold serve here at the US Open, historical stats tell us if you win the first point on serve in the men's game, you've got about an 89% chance of holding. You lose it, it drops to 62%. So it's not what you want when you're trying to serve out a set.
Couple of big windups on those forehands. Just mistimed both of them.
Right, so the tension of this game. And that's a data point, Robbie. I love that because I've Often wondered why they don't keep that stat in tennis. First point, and it's direct correlation of
That'd be a nice
winning
stat
the
to
game.
see. I would actually like to see that
It's
as
the
well.
baseball. It's the equivalent in baseball of the first strike.
Right.
Whether it's strike one or ball one is significant.
Oh, that's pretty. Well covered. If that ball got any lower, it could have been tricky in the volley. I mean, right on top of the net.
It's got to be careful when you come cross court on the approach. You open up a lot of angles, but fortunately, Tommy covers the net well.
You also leave yourself vulnerable on that line.
This is that.
That's a joke of a lob. Forehand from Lorenzo was huge, and he lobbed it. Some impressive use of the hands there.
Yeah, no kidding, gentlemen. This is what we call daylight lobbery.
This is a night match. That volley right there is one of the tougher volleys, taking that somewhat inside out up the line there. That's the right idea.
Absolutely, just the execution. If you're a coach, you're clapping that, aren't you? Just,
Pretty happy with that.
yeah. Just got to remember, slice on slice, the ball go down off your strings a little more. You've got to calibrate that into the volley there.
The eraser.
Yeah, it's a good time for a little change up. Took a little speed off of that, a little extra spin. That's what makes his serve dangerous. He can slide it, he could kick it quite well in both courts, especially the ad court. And now he flattens it out pretty often and does that well. There's that. Thanks, Tommy. See the difference there, 128 on that. It's the biggest serve he's hit the whole match. That's some really solid variety in a game that he needs to hold. Sort of assert himself here in this match.
So Tommy Paul used that serve at the right moment. He holds and one break point.
There's, to your point, Robbie, right there, another approach cross court. We've seen a number of them today in this match already in the first set, and vulnerable up the line. It's tougher. If you approach cross court, it's tough to cover the line, and the angle is available as well. So
I'm amazed how many players still do it, Jannik. Yeah.
I mean, if that ball can't be an almost outright winner, you might want to probably hit it up the middle or up the line.
Oh, he's got away with that one as well. Tommy's looking as if he should have made that. Should have been all over that. And we also know players are a lot more dangerous on the running forehand than what they are on the backhand. Yes, they can be solid on the backhand, but their creativity at the end of range with a forehand is it's incredible these days. Wow.
Did he just kiss the line with that one? Gutsy overhead.
missed it. Paul again with excellent scrambling.
And Tommy got there with enough time to put something on that drop shot. Little chip shot up the line. That's blazing speed.
One of the best additions, I think, to Tommy's game on the return of service, this chip forehand that he just clips so nicely. If he doesn't get good depth and it is short, at least it stays low. And with his athletic ability, he's often going to get a look at a pass. So tough to get it by him. But he's in the point, guys.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it's also very annoying to deal with that underspin coming back over the net. You know, you've got to do something with it. Your opponent's fast.
I thought he did it really well on the grass this year, Jannik. The use of that particular... Speaking of coaching carousels, Lorenzo with a new coach this season after being with Aryna, one of my favorite names on tour, for 18 years. That must have been a tough decision. Looks like a second father to him was Gipo.
Gipo no longer involved at all, or
no longer involved at all.
Okay.
In his corner now, Fabio Colangelo, and Jannik, you can probably speak to this. Like, you know, how much the new coach comes on board, you win a title. What about all the good work that he's been doing for years with Gipo? Does he get any credit for that, or is it all about the new coach? Timing is everything sometimes in sport, right? Having
a fresh, you know, voice to listen to and a fresh sort of outlook can be helpful. Sometimes you tune out a voice you've heard too long, too much. You know, who knows? Maybe they'll get back together in the future. And you would imagine that all the work that was done before should get credit too.
I'll never forget the story that our good friend and co-commentator this week, Jesse Levine, tells Ted about when he was coaching Jess Pegula. And of course, as soon as he split with Jess, and I think it was David Witt who took over in Washington the very next week, she wins her first title. Oh, man.
And I'm thinking as you guys are talking about this, and I'm thinking about Jannik Sinner.
Yeah.
Right, what he did.
It's true. Cahill's been a major impact.
But at the same time, we must never lose that same, excuse me, we should never lose sight of everything that Riccardo Piazzi did, right, to build the game. My goodness, I think he's one of the best developmental coaches out there.
The foundation of these players' games from those coaches, that can never be taken away, and it shouldn't.
Yeah. And Ted, it's actually a conversation that Jan Michael and I had a couple of weeks ago, and I'd like you to also give us the insights here on air, Jan Mike, and just when we spoke about the influences of coaches early on in your career, because so often we just see the end product, but you know, those people that were so instrumental in your career and help moving it to the next level.
Yeah, I had a couple of coaches, very important coaches. For me, obviously, my dad was a part of my career the whole time.
Yep.
But we hired a man named Scott Shogreen, who I still very good friends with, and he was instrumental in me moving to the next level. That's a big forehand there. A little pressure. So Shogo was good, not but just because he could beat me and beat me daily, badly, and I didn't like that very much. But he was a real intense guy, so it kind of got along with the way that my dad liked to coach, and had a little bit more insight, players' insight. Also worked a lot with Nick Saviano, who I think is one of the best fundamental coaches out there.
It's a great name. I don't hear that name very much anymore.
Nick is fantastic.
Yes.
Had a little court time with Pancho Segura, who told me, you better develop a one-handed forehand in that corner, and on your first serve returns, you're not going to make it as a pro. And I listened to him. He was right.
Yeah,
They're all set for it, so stay on your forehand. Stay on your forehand.
Stay on it.
Look what he does. He hits forehands. And
It's a dynamic forehand,
Yes.
too. There is a lot of juice on these shots.
I tell you, Lorenzo's taller than what you might think. If you've seen him on TV, he comes across quite slight, but he has got the height. He's got the levers. That's what generates a lot of that power, gentlemen.
what would you say, Robbie? Is he 6'3", 6'4"?
Yeah, 6'3", I would say.
Yeah, I saw him in the hall the other day. I think he was about the same height as me. I'm 6'3". A couple of droppers have been easily tracked down.
I was going to say, is that...
I'm not sure that strat's
that's
going to work.
not the play, right?
Maybe a huge forehand if you can push Tommy backward, but that's just... The sprint speed is just crazy from Tommy Paul. I think it was a touch.
Yeah. Yeah.
We got to admire the guy for that. He immediately said that he touched it.
The thought, the look was this way. You'll see it here. Yep.
Well, this would have been a perfect time if he wasn't such a gentleman to use the replay system that they have in place here. And we didn't have to.
All right, second break point of the match for Paul. All right, Lorenzo needs to walk over there and fob.
Shots surprise you.
All right, Robbie, where would Nadal, if he had been a doubles player? Come on, you're our doubles expert.
I played him here, actually.
Where did you?
Yeah, I played him and Tommy Robredo one year. He was proper player, man. Oh. Yeah, you speak of his tennis IQ. It was just the way he progressed, you know, throughout the course of his career. Just shows what a great tennis brain he had. He wasn't known for his volleys early on in his career. That improved. The serve improved. The backhand improved out of sight.
I feel like just a little lull in the focus here of Sonego. The drop shots, sort of at a panic moment. Now missing some shots into the net. That one almost trickled over, but just too close.
13-15.
I'm marveling at the difference in the pace of play from the first match. You just saw the clock. We're not even an hour in.
Yeah, both of these players actually playing pretty quick.
Yes.
They're getting right up to the line. I feel like there's a little sense of urgency with Tommy Paul. He'd like to finish off this second set, and that's going to feel tough for Lorenzo.
Sonego's pitching a perfect game, isn't he? On the drop shots. He has an 0 for working.
0 for 4. He's obstinate. Keeps doing it.
I'm on Tommy's first 2 steps are so quick. So quick. It's like a panther.
That's the advantage of getting the VIP seat that Robbie has down there.
Yeah, it's a good seat.
Yeah.
Ted. Yeah, shout out to Franco Herrera, who does an unbelievable job with a couple of players, not only Tommy. Works with the likes of Ethan Quinn as well.
Works with my buddy Ellis Short as well when he's in Florida. He's for Princeton. There's Franco.
See, now Robbie gets the, I mean, how gracefully and therefore easily Tommy Paul went back on that ball.
Yeah, too
Made
true.
it look so easy.
Oh, he's just so light on his feet. He's like a springbok.
Yeah, I've always felt like as a tennis player, he moves like a boxer. You're right, he is so light on his feet. There's a storm brewing here.
Yeah.
for Sonego. There's that shot you like there, Robbie, but somehow he dealt with it. Played that pretty close to the line, right on it.
I mean, that's how good it has to be, right? If you want to get it past this guy.
That's tough. I mean, nobody likes to see that shot coming back right at the middle with nothing on it at 1540. Good shot.
Tommy Paul gives me it's night 2 in New York, so it's about time to invoke Yogi Berra.
Tommy's playing a better second set really than he even did in the first, and he played a pretty good first set. First serve percentage for Tommy Paul in this set, 89%. Am I reading that right? Look at it again. Yep. That brings his match first serve to 69%, which is actually the same as Sonego's. So therein lies, Robbie, your point. Who returns better? 100% today, it's Tommy Paul. Just putting some pressure on, getting a few of those serves back.
Yep.
He's knocked down Sonego's first serve points 1 to 43% in the set. That is low. That does not get it done. That's where you see the 2 breaks.
Well, you see the profile, 2 service games in this set, as Jan Michael was saying. He's only lost 1 point, so stay on that course twice more and he'll have the 2-set lead.
I mean, to your point, the movement is so intense from Sonego. A couple of wheel spins there just because of the urgency. He just wants to move so explosively, get the feet going as quickly as he can. It's such a great lesson for any kids watching this match tonight.
Pretty smart approach shot, just right at him. Surprised Tommy there. Hey, Ted, finally a drop shot paid off.
I was just going to say, he planned it that way, didn't he? It was
that one was perfect.
The tennis version of a bank shot.
Yeah, exactly. I like how he laid into that backhand there. There was intent behind that shot. Clipped the tape, had enough on it that it just trickled over anyway.
A little opening here for Sonego. 1 break back. He will not miss an opportunity to hit a forehand, will he?
I mean, I like the intent,
Yeah.
but what would Novak have done with that shot? He probably would have gone back up the middle again with it. Maybe just into the corner. Happy to reset the point. That's one thing with Sonego. He doesn't want to reset. He wanted to hit a winner there. A little pressure off Tommy Paul because of that missed forehand.
How good is that?
Very good.
Oh, very good from Robbie. Up to your standard of volleys.
Or great volley is able to take pace off the ball. I think so often, Jannik, we hear coaches banging on about you got to stick the volley, you got to stick the volley, but you don't because you're already at the net. So you've reduced the court length by half.
Well, that's to your point of one of the things that Rafa improved is Rafa was just dumped those volleys short.
Yeah.
Didn't need anything more than that.
Yes.
Did you take it easy on Nadal that day, Robbie? You didn't bury him, did you?
No, I didn't. I had to just infuse him with some confidence for the rest of his career.
It's lovely of you.
Ted.
That is magnanimous.
Worked out quite well. I have got royalties, I must tell you that.
Would be really good ones if they're with Rafa.
I've got a 1.75% dividend that pays out annually.
Oh.
If only. Oh, Jannik, there it is again, right?
That's just what I was thinking. I was wondering if you'd say something. Same approach, cross court.
5 games to 1. Second set.
It's looking like this is going to be the first two sets headed the way of the American. And if Sonego wants to change things, he needs to stop approaching cross court. He needs to stop hitting drop shots, unless he can continue to hit let court winners, because those will work. But and just make these rallies. He's got to stay in these rallies a little bit longer. It's got to be a little bit more physical. That's tough to do against Tommy, who's just not missed in some of these longer rallies.
All right. Hoping Sonego, that new balls will help.
Love 15.
Well, he's not. Sonego's
That's your
not
fault,
inspiring
Ted.
confidence, though, because
That one's on you.
You see, it feels like the recess bell was just rung here at Ash, and people are running out to get the midnight train. Robbie, you get the look down there. From here, it looks like Sonego feels like, what can I do?
Yep.
Did you know he had that shot in the toolkit?
I mean, how's that for a bit of old school tennis, boys?
What even was that?
Oh.
Two slice drive forehands in a row.
He's laughing. He's laughing at his coach there, as if to say, "Coach, how did you like that?"
Yeah. I liked it. That was creative.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
13, 15.
Almost had too much time on that pass, too many options.
Canada backhand volley much better than that one. Nice control. I don't know, Robbie. You and I have probably covered, I don't know how many matches of Sonego's. I haven't seen that forehand very often, much less 3 in a game. Have you?
No.
Yeah.
Showing us that these guys, they've got some skills.
It looks like he practices that shot.
Oh, yeah.
My dad would have run out on the court and taken me off the court, screaming.
We loved your dad.
Almost, but instead it's a hole for Sonego, so pressure will be on, or not the pressure, but
Yeah.
And he
Good
moves
call.
awfully well for
But
6'8".
That, exactly. Can change direction.
Nice.
Tommy pretty locked in mentally. We haven't seen him really react too much to the moments in this match. Could be partly because he knows that Lorenzo, the type of guy, can get really fired up and it actually makes him play better. Or he's just simply locked in today. He's been this way from the start of this match. Another double.
Only bobble in this game. 2 doubles. Well, I would say that's so impressive, Michael, what you said, given, again, the fact these guys are sitting around and get on court at 10:30.
It's tough to play these night matches. I've played night matches like this, sitting around, you're right. Sometimes you had to hit twice.
So there's the set, and that's been the best part so far for Tommy Paul. 2 sets without any stress. Well, we don't see it now, but the upper right-hand corners are where the serve clock is visible for players.
I like that play to counter the chip there. He's on it straight away with a 7 volley.
And I also like it just as a change-up and maybe coming forward a little bit more could be an answer. We saw it a little bit more from Lorenzo in the last part of the second set. He was coming forward. Maybe just change up the rhythm of the match a little. It hasn't worked so far to do what he's done from the baseline. That's a tough ball right there to try to take up the line. Wanted out of that backhand exchange.
Yes.
A little better way would have just hit it up the middle, and you might see a forehand in the next one.
I mean, this guy's such a skill merchant. It's unbelievable to watch courtside. The different shapes of shots, the chip. That chip had a bit more pop on it.
Yeah, he just shoved it short in the court there. What a great choice on that pass.
It's the worst for a volleyer. Low with no pace. You've got to be so creative. If you don't have good hands, you'll be exposed just like that.
All right, Sonego starts with a hold. And now Tommy Paul will try to restart his engine, keep his momentum going.
Oh,
Just singing, or does he play something too?
just singing.
Okay.
So, multi-income earner. That's always good.
Well, he's changed the rhythm on his serve as well. Several trips forward to the net. That's a play right out of Tommy's book right
Yes.
there. Took a big swat at that forehand.
Coach just giving him some nice, deliberate instruction. Wasn't too much information.
I just heard a couple of forzas.
Yeah. Always at the end. Got to end with a forza. Okay, Ted, I'm going to test your general knowledge. You've been around this sport for a long, long time. I'm going to tell you the word that a player from a certain country would use, and you've got to tell me what country or what language it's from, okay? So we know forza and we know vamos, so that's too easy.
Are these safe for work words? This is not the old card the chair umpires used to have, is it? Have the not safe for work words in multiple languages.
I hear you. So we'll see a lot of players say, davai, davai. Do you know the country?
Russia.
Yes, sir.
Has to be. He
Well
said
played.
a lot of players, so I
Yes.
was thinking it's
Yes.
got to be Russia.
What does it mean, Robbie? Is that a
think,
let's go?
I think they all mean pretty much the same.
Same
Let's
thing.
go,
Yeah, okay.
come on.
Okay.
he had to like that rally from both players. And I tell you what, I asked for Lorenzo to just make it a little bit more physical in a couple of the exchanges. He did exactly that there. Sent a message, I think, to Tommy, who still outplayed him and outmaneuvered him a little bit. But that's important to be able to do that a little bit more in this set. And look at this, all of a sudden a break point here because the pressure maybe a little bit greater after that last rally to do something with that forehand. Missed it.
Breathtaking combination of shots from both players. I mean, forehand on the run from Lorenzo was adorned with all manner of spin and pace.
And Tommy Paul with a sparkling number at net, 88%.
Oh, so close. Well, that slice was just as close. Found the line. The forehand just missing it. Been a good game from Sonego here.
He's definitely feels like he's up to pace on the groundies as well as hugging the baseline, Jannik. It's just brilliant tennis intelligence from Tommy. Is that the first serve and volley behind a second serve?
Yes, and it was a kick that he's been slicing his second serve. That time he kicks it into the shot that Lorenzo struggles to take that backhand up the line.
So Ted, somebody from this country would have said, Idemo. After that shot, what country would that have been from?
Ooh. Don't know.
That's what all the Serbian players say.
Oh, really?
Idemo.
I've not heard Novak say that.
Oh, no, come on.
I haven't.
What?
I'll listen closer.
Put this game away. It's an all-serve tomorrow night. Djokovic plays Laszlo Jara. So we could hear a bunch of that.
We could. We're going to listen for it this time. Well, Lorenzo has brought his shot tolerance up a little bit in this is the beginning of the third here, but I feel like that forehand right there, he just a little too big. It has Tommy in a bit of a pressure moment, and it's let him off the hook there.
Sonego staring at that. And now he sees the confirmation that Paul aces and finally put that game away.
See Hugo Armando next to Brad Stein there. He's also been working with the team there, helping out Tommy Paul. Maybe giving Brad a little bit of time off here and there. formed a really nice, tight team around Tommy.
Oh.
That's ridiculous.
That's what Sonego said. Okay, how does that happen in Italian, Robbie? That's ridiculous.
I mean, that's the first. That's the first time that Tommy reacted a little bit. A little smile. I mean, you better smile. That was. I give that shot of the day so far. Just somehow made that into the corner.
I couldn't have walked it over there any better.
Sonego's just, he's found a gear when he took that little time out.
He does. Yeah. I still just love this guy. I love his energy level. Yeah. He's a joy to watch. Yeah. Always trying his 100% that he can possibly give. He could easily play 5 sets out here if Tommy had let him.
I can tell you, gentlemen, we've had our first official little bit of breeze. It's not much, but it's coming across the court towards where I'm sitting, so from opposite the umpire's chair towards her. Just make sure you got a soft place for your jaw to land when you see this return of serve.
The little breeze you were just talking about didn't affect that all that much.
Gave me a Fernando Gonzalez moment there.
I mean, just the fact that he's able to go kick the sign over there because he's had to take one step. That's where he hit that forehand from.
He was laughing.
Unreal. Just say no to backhands.
The great Chilean player that would go into the 5th row to hit a forehand.
Behave, Ted.
The net cord was not his friend that time. And
let's go, Tommy. Tommy, I'm betting on you 6-1 this set.
All right, Tommy Paul now with the 3rd set lead. And that has to frustrate Sonego because he came out and played the first 3 games pretty well.
He really did.
And he's behind.
Tommy's just played unbelievable. That lob that he placed right in the corner there, it's a lot of pressure. He's just done a lot of good things. And a winner return on that backhand that he just absolutely pulverized that ball.
I love that.
I'm not positive that I've seen Tommy Paul completely this locked in a first-round match in a slam, where he could win this in straight sets and it's just so clean start to finish. I mean, he looks completely polished against the player who could really give him fits and has actually played quite well.
He's coming off a title win.
I asked for Lorenzo Sonego to serve at 65%. He's at 65%. Just hasn't been able to win enough of those first serves. Needs more of that. That's one of the few fizzle shots that we've seen from Tommy Paul at the net.
Yeah, and even just chatting with players, other broadcasters, what match are you doing tonight, Tommy Paul? What do you think? I think the vast majority of people I spoke to, gentlemen, was Tommy in 4.
That's exactly how I had it playing out.
Let's go, Tommy. You got this.
Here's the game for Paul for 3-1. And Sonego again at the end of that, looking over that kind of forlorn look into his team. As we remind you, download the US Open app to follow your favorite players, track scores, match highlights, player news, and 3D views of all singles matches. The US Open app's available at the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store.
Little change up there on the second serve, took it into the forehand instead.
Jannik, I've just had a quick look through all of Tommy's first round matches at the majors, and I think you're bang on. This could be one of the most complete performances so far. I don't want to jinx him, but just looking down the list there of the players he's played, their rankings, the score lines, what I can remember a fair few of them. And it's always important to take into consideration the quality of the opposition, how they have been coming into the match.
Absolutely. He's got to work on that one-handed backhand. He's got to make that shot. I jest. Seems like the most unhappy he's been in the match. Wanted to make that one-hander.
What happened there? That first serve almost bounced on the baseline.
What happened there?
14,
Come on.
On the lob, the hands were ridiculous. That also is a display of some pretty impressive feel. To hit a drop shot off of a second serve, it was 96 miles an hour. Effortlessly.
Getting into the Fabrice Santoro territory there, Jan Mike.
A nightmare from the past.
Stayed on the Sonego forehand, and Sonego ends up holding. Still Tommy Paul up a guy.
Fabio as well. He's got a good drop shot. Well, Lorenzo had to fight pretty hard for that last game. He held, kept it within one. There was a little bit more pressure on Tommy, who really tried hard to break in that last game. Couldn't quite get it back to deuce.
Love the change up on the first serve there. Took all the pace out of it. Previous first serve was at 127. That one just at 104. Lorenzo's just early on the hit. Shanks it. Tommy's in charge. Different ways of upsetting the rhythm. Love it. He's a player who's just got so much clarity of thought, knows exactly what he wants to do.
That's nice. Just moving those forehands around the court, going to a fairly large target in the corners and keeping Sonego on the run. Not able to set up and hit through the ball like he'd like to.
Too much there.
I think the return just right up the middle, directly at Tommy Paul, is a good one. If you can get some depth on it, and there was some pretty good depth from that one. Handcuffed him a little bit on that big windup.
Another forehand goes, and here's Sonego's opening. Has yet to cash in. Well, I got the fourth time. Most of it I didn't. Here it is, seventh chance.
Well, that war cry sounds like they told him to cover the tee. Or maybe they told him to cover the wide and he was mad about it. Good serve nonetheless.
Oh. Jam shot.
The old body ball. The shot selection has just been excellent from Tommy.
Yes.
Well, it has been the shot selection that's kept Tommy in this game because he's made some unforced errors. There's just a little lull in the focus of Tommy here in this one. He's missed a couple forehands. That backhand, he flew long. This happens often in third sets in 3 out of 5. You see a lot of players play a couple of really good sets. Not so great in the third. The opponent makes a resurgence.
Now Sonego was another shot.
Was that going in, Jan, Mike?
I think so. I think it was. See, Tommy went a little too parallel on that volley. I don't think he had an option as he had to chase it down. It's a pretty good shot.
Sonego covered the tee here. Nope. I didn't hear. We didn't hear what Fabio told him.
And God forbid the player have to think for himself out there.
There's always one of those games, isn't there? There's always one. And when you've been playing as well as Tommy has, you want to get out of it, and get the feeling it's this one.
I mean, Robbie, can we talk about how good the volleys have been this entire match and on break points?
I mean, that's the kicker, right? It's not doing it at 15 all. Yes, that's impressive for the changer, but to deal with the pressure and execute it as well as he has, I'll give you bonus points out of 10 for that.
Just gotta be careful you don't overuse it.
Frustration. Obvious. Sonego now 0 for 10 on break points. 4 in this game.
I feel like it's time for a heater from Tommy here. He hasn't had a big one for a while. A little bigger. I just missed in that slice, but the inside-out forehand from Paul there, that's just another example of the good hands that he possesses, because he caught it late, still generated a pretty impressive angle that forced Lorenzo to go for more than I think he needed to.
Forehand again. Oh, it's no Sonego's backhand in this game in particular. There have been a few sprayed forehands from forehand errors from Paul.
guy just furnishing me with some numbers as to how often Tommy Paul has taken the ball inside the baseline. And it's phenomenal, guys. 83% of the time. 25 for Sonego.
Well, it was a 9-minute effort. Is that for the whole match, Robbie?
That is for the whole match.
Wow, that's
no,
something.
excuse me. At break points.
Oh, at break points. Okay.
At break.
He's attacking, and he's going to put the pressure on. If the player can come up with something special, then maybe they are able to break through, and Lorenzo Sonego has not been able to yet.
That's one of the hardest shots to execute off a short, well-struck slice. It's got a bit of nip to it, then trying to play a drop shot off of that. Easiest drop shot to play is off a topspin. The ball naturally will go up off your strings, but slice on slice goes down. Contact has to be perfect. It's got to be so thin. We've seen a few of those shots around the net. I love the fact we've got the singles nets in play. That brings that shot into play a lot more.
It does. An extra amount of spin on it. You can bring it right around. I admire Lorenzo here. A little irritated in the last game that he couldn't break through on those break points that he had earned, but right back to business.
Man, that was clean. Holds it love. The frustration. He doesn't know the number, but he'll know it's the 0 for. 0 for 10 on break points.
Think he knows that term?
That 0 for? No, probably not.
Somehow doubt it. Very far to travel, of course, between those two countries. You can get the points.
And this is the 4th straight tournament that Tommy Paul has faced an Italian in the first round.
Wow.
Starting in the Olympics.
I tried to clobber that one. Didn't really have the spacing on it.
Let's go, Tommy.
ball there. Able to rush Tommy a little bit. Can count on Sonego trying till the very end here.
He has been just a wall at the net.
That looked like a Lilleberg sky hook right there. On that overhead. One other look at this. A straight arm put away. Awesome reflexes. Another tough game here for Tommy.
And here's Sonego yet again. Oh, missed it. The 11th time is the charm. Sonego squares the set. His 11th break point, the first one he's converted.
Brad Stein just put both his hands alongside his eyes. He gave him a nod, almost as if to say, I like the pattern of play. But just stay focused. Just stay focused right here. That was a strong message from his coach.
That's what you get when you have the attitude that Lorenzo Sonego has when he plays his matches. Always gives himself chances to get back into them. Never gets too down on himself. Maybe a little bit irritated with the outcomes that happen.
Jan, Mike, give us a sense of what it's like to play against somebody like that, even when you're beating them.
Well, you just don't get a read on the fact that you just know. You know what you're going to get when you're playing against them. It was a little bit like playing against a Leighton Hewitt.
Yeah, unsettling, right?
He would just keep on coming.
Yep.
You knew he might be irritated, he might go crazy on the court, but he was locked in the very next point. Different attitudes, Sonego and Hewitt, of course, but the fact that they compete, the fact that they don't ever stop trying it does sort of wear on you a little bit. You start to feel the pressure when you're trying to put a match away. That's maybe a little bit of what Tommy's feeling.
Yeah, you know they're not going to give it to you, right? you're going to have to earn it.
Exactly. And both these guys compete. Good role models for up-and-coming players, or even the club player who wants to get a little bit better.
Ace to finish the game, and how about this? Thinking back to what we saw in this very court last night. And all right, Tommy Paul has lost a little bit with the serve in this set. You just saw it there in the first point. He's only won 33% of his second serves in this set. And as a result, Sonego's had 7 break points.
Lorenzo is truly striking the ball
Isn't
well
he?
right now. Or that backhand that he hit prior to that last forehand. Whoa.
Yeah, and Rob, you can see it down there. He's got a little extra hop, doesn't he?
A little more skip to his step
Yeah,
down
he
there,
really
Robbie.
does.
Yeah, absolutely. I was just having a look at some of those serving numbers.
Look at the 15-5 run here. Paul needs to put a stop to that.
And there's a bunch of fans sitting behind me here as well that are, just feeding him the energy. There's 6 or 7 young guys.
Come on, it's 1 in the morning in New York.
Yeah.
They've all had medicine.
Wow. It's a big let off the last 2 points. Big let off.
It's always interesting when the pressure shifts back the other way. Maybe a chance here to do something with a set. Misses that forehand.
How about that?
That's clean.
Try that at home.
5 games on 30.
Just use all the pace coming his way. Don't have to do anything with that. Stick the racket out.
Five all.
So this is unbelievable. Now I watched the racket hit the net before the ball bounced twice. I'm convinced of it, guys. So therefore, Sonego should lose the point. Now Tommy can review this. Watch. Once. And they're, oh, it's close. Maybe I'm wrong.
You didn't get a look at it.
Goes down there.
Is it an issue?
Oh, can't believe we're not reviewing that. Cannot believe we're not reviewing it. Tommy's looking over.
He is looking at Brad Stein, yeah.
Should ask for it. We didn't get the camera angle on it. Somehow that went in.
That forehand seared the line.
Might be a permanent ball mark on that.
Yes. Branded it.
Sort of feels like we might have ourselves a tie break in this third set. I'm here for it.
Find out straight ahead here. Tommy Paul can hold his serve and reach the tie break. And Sonego take us closer to dawn.
Was the first point of the game, so that can make a little bit of a difference, as Robbie's pointed out. The level of play from Lorenzo Sonego has improved dramatically the last few games. From the baseline, from the net. His attitude's been the same.
It's a combination, I think, of what you brought up, Jan Michael, about the dynamic of 5 sets.
True.
And then a forehand is flying, and then a player. Now, Sonego's a far more accomplished player than Kovacevic last night, obvious. But the fact that a player can find their rhythm when they're seemingly out. Second straight night we're seeing this.
And you have your opponent, this time it's Tommy Paul, just falter a little. Just a few forehands. He's not making as many first serves. Not doing a great job on second serves right now, partly because Lorenzo taking those big cuts and hitting big returns.
Yeah, he has been in Tommy's grill.
Here he started again, and he's on the baseline whacking forehands. Paul's defending.
Tell you what, he's got some serious torque and horsepower in these forehands.
The racket acceleration is so extreme. Also gives him a little disguise. Look at the wrist. All right on the line.
Yeah, I think driving into the site today, Lorenzo must have been listening to some Tom Petty on the radio with "I Won't Back Down."
Who needs sleep? It's overrated. This is something. We have a fourth set coming.
City.
So quick out the corners.
New kit, new wheels.
Yep.
Robbie?
Yep. Retired.
This is not how Lorenzo would like to start out the fourth set. Some immediate pressure, some good returning from Paul.
Tell you what, Lorenzo has used the full length of the court there. Wowzer. For a split second, I thought it might be long.
I thought so too, the way he hit it. It's just enough spin. Second serve and volley, a little bit of a bluff there. Maybe looking for the free point. All unamused. Crushed that backhand.
I think Tommy's fan from last year sitting courtside. We just saw a camera cut at that little kid that was so instrumental in helping him on the grandstand court. I'm trying to think who he played against there, gentlemen.
First strike goes to Tommy Paul. First game of the fourth set to the American, 1-0.
Sorry, by the way, guys. The lobster roll stand is closed. I tried. That ball 123.
Wow, that made a different sound. I'm surprised it's only 1-2-1.
Well, that's perhaps an omen here from Tommy Paul, because again, he kind of lost the serve in the third set.
Yep.
Yeah, the rhythm was just off. just lose that rhythm as a big server, especially when you're hitting your big flat serves and your slice serve. It's easy to just miss them.
And that was how Sonego made Paul pay that price by doing just that to the second serve.
Just taking a page out of Paul's book there.
There's full intent to murder that ball on the way back. Well inside the baseline.
Yeah, so disciplined with his approach shot there. He's not going to come in cross court. He's going to keep the ball on the same side of the court as himself. And therefore, he is perfectly positioned at the net.
That's so clean.
Tattooed that forehand, didn't he? There is no holding back. Got plugged right back into the mains is TP. Now the serve, survey, and volley. No panic.
He missed the one volley that cost him his serve in the third set. Not looking back on that. Just knew when that ball made contact with Tommy Paul's racket that it was going to drop down in the court. What a shot.
Yeah, he's just digs into his manual of masterpieces here once again. Lorenzo shaking his head, but he's coming on a cross-court forehand approach. I mean, you just clip those up every time he comes to the net, and it'd be such a powerful visual for him.
Do you possess the manual of masterpieces? Is there something we can read? Maybe we can improve our games?
Oh, yeah. Our VT team has got those clipped off.
All right.
There's been plenty of them coming from all areas of his game.
Agreed. Lorenzo happy to see that one just sail over the line a little bit. Paul back at least these first two games to the way that he played the first couple of sets, two and a half sets, really. All the way to 4-2 in the third.
little mix-up from Sonego, huh?
Only 2-1, set them by 2-6-2.
Hold serve to Sonego, but Tommy Paul has the lead now. He had it in the third set, couldn't hold it. Won all 4 of his first serve points. One thing you say, the net play's been good. Tommy Paul's won 81% in net. 35 out of 43. You think about the only time Roger Federer and Pete Sampras ever played, which was at Wimbledon in 2001. There were a total of over 200 net points in that match. Oh, that picked.
That was pretty.
Oh, that was a bit of Hogwarts stuff from Tommy Potter.
Think about that. You'll never see 200 net points in a match again.
Not unless you see Maxime Cressy playing someone that also
for 14 sets. Yeah. So, I mean, it's astounding how the kind of crystallizes how the game is different.
They slowed down the grass. It's harder to serve and volley even now at Wimbledon than it used to be.
Continued good rhythm for Paul, 3-1.
Put in a whole new dimension to the sport.
Answer that in a second. Jan Michael will remind you saw the social platform symbols there. Stay connected to the U.S. Open on any of them by using hashtag US Open.
Oh, behave yourself. That is out of order.
Unbelievable shot there. Little chip shot. Found its spot. No chance on the volley here. Well, Robbie, if we used your theory on that, I wouldn't have had a career. I played with a 115 head. So I don't know what you
No, you didn't.
Yeah, I did.
Did you?
Yeah.
Come on.
I don't think the head matters so much at all. I think it's the string. It's gripping the ball and allowing players to hit so much more spin. The new string is revolutionized the sport.
Yep.
I mean, my bigger racket head didn't really give me an advantage necessarily over anything. I had to string it at 71. Of course, playing two-handed both sides or two-handed forehand a lot of the time. It helped me to be able to do that, have a little more reach. Didn't help me at the net.
Does he get it?
Oh, unbelievable.
Whoa.
What a crazy game from Tommy Paul. This has been. How many lights out shots in a row can he hit?
Sonego's credit.
What was that?
What was that?
Sidearm full on overhead.
It was great. Look at that.
Volleyed it no problem.
And now a chance for the double break Paul didn't have in the third set.
A little force set in there.
Let's go, Tommy. This away.
Uh-oh. 2 second serves neither in play.
Fight back from love 40, and then you do that. Ooh. Forced himself to go into that forehand of Tommy Paul there. A little easier to miss a slice second serve. Not much room on the net, margin-wise. That was close.
There is the double break for Tommy Paul. I think it's approval from Team Tom. You guys are so nice. Clothing change. That's very nice.
Kid change. What do you want to call it?
Timeout.
The timeout works just fine, but you are going to change your clothes. You'd be silly not to.
Yep.
I'm actually a little happier with it just being called a timeout. Just call it what
Exactly.
it is. It is. Some players use it.
Total
for that.
agreement. It's within the rules, but just call it what it is.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. Oof. 131, and that becomes his fastest serve of the match. Oh, a little feel there from Lorenzo. Just the game he'd like to play here at 4-1 double break. Arrive at 5. Put this match away. Get everybody to sleep on the team. That's the goal.
Nice pickup. And I keep going back, Jan Michael, to your point earlier about how best of 5, there's so often just, I don't know what the right word you say, a lull or just a change in the momentum. And it's Tommy Paul now is back to where a lot of what he was doing in sets 1 and 2.
Yeah, he's just back locked in. I still think this is a great match for Tommy Paul, and you just have to hand it to Lorenzo Sonego for keeping that intensity up, for keeping himself in the match, for finding a way back from 2-4, never giving up, got himself a set. He's probably not going to be able to come back in this set. It's not looking good, but it just shows you give yourself opportunities by keeping that mentality and the focus and intensity up. There might be a little bit of a lapse in concentration from your opponent.
Yeah, and perhaps the payoff comes at another tournament later on in the season, Jan Mike, when
Absolutely.
someone gets tight against him and he is able to get the W after being down and out. Because, you know, you develop that reputation in the locker room of how you perform at 1:33 in the morning.
Boy, that has so many potential. I could ask you so many questions about that, Robbie.
You behave yourself there, Mr. Robinson.
Lorenzo determined to force Tommy Paul to serve it out. Still some animated conversations with his player box. They got him.
Nicely done by Lorenzo Sonego. And stay alive for at least one more game. This set, again, that point, it highlights it. Paul has won 10 of his 11 first serve points in this set.
Here's your stat, Robbie. What was the stat if you win the first point?
Yep.
Yeah, you got to 89% chance.
89.
Of
Ooh,
there you go.
That feels pretty good if you're Tommy Paul right now. Oh, it's such a pretty volley. Just a little too much flourish on it there.
Yeah, that first volley is the one that so many play to the open court, which is the wrong one. Tommy correctly hitting it back behind Lorenzo. Set himself up beautifully.
Got a good strike on that forehand, right on the line as well. There's some forzas still left in the team.
It's taken him longer to get there, but Tommy Paul has reached match point. And there it is, fitting 42nd net point that he won in this match.
%78% at the net for Tommy Paul. Talk about the improved volleys and willingness to get up there and execute. And he did it oh so well today. That was one.